Hey everybody, Eric here reviewing another episode of The Rings of Power, episode 7, The Eye. So I thought this was the finale this week. And I still didn't care, and I'm still getting this late to you guys. And then I watched it, and then I found out that no, the finale is actually next week. So I have to watch another episode of Rings of Power. And that was terribly disappointing. All right, so episode 7 is called The Eye. I don't care. That's why I'm not in costume. That's why I haven't showered yet. We're just going to get through this as quickly as possible because we have a finale next week to cover. Oh my God. All right, episode 7 is The Eye. It's slow and boring. Everyone's just recovering from Mount Doom spewing on everybody. That's about it. So we start off with an eye, Lady Galadriel's eye opening. And that's it. There's no other eye. We don't get the Eye of Sauron or anything. So way to go, title. All right, everyone's recovering. And I will say Lady Galadriel is a little more likable in this episode because she doesn't say much. She just stands there and doesn't talk. So I liked her a little bit better this episode. So I will say it did look cool with the village getting all ruined, and you can kind of see some money on the screen with the devastation. So I'll give them props for that. We get a flaming horse. I'm sure that cost a lot of money. So way to go, Amazon. And I guess, I'm like, wow, that sword hilt was pretty important, I guess, because it basically creates Mordor. Oh, spoiler. I spoiled that. All right. But yeah, I mean, so, how did he lose that? It's pretty important. Maybe I'd like to see that story. And then Guy Ladriel and Muriel, they're lifting people out of the destruction because they're amazing. That's right, they're amazing. And then we have the Harfoots. Unfortunately, there are Harfoots this episode, so we cut to them, and they see craters in their land, and the old Harfoot says, oh, when we see that, we know a new evil is rising. But isn't it exactly the same evil? The old evil is rising. That's what I was thinking. Gandalf then tree whispers, and he does a bad job, it appears, and the tree falls and almost kills the Harfoots. Unfortunately, the tree missed. Yeah. Elrond, the bestest ever, begs for Mithril, and King Durin tells him to go piss off. King Durin is just grumpy and is basically happy to see the elves die. The elves need this Mithril to stay alive. Don't remember that from any Tolkien book. Let me know if I'm missing something in the comments. Disa suggests that young Durin, her husband, kind of commit treason and help the elves, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. Young Durin is the best actor in this series, and he really shows it off here. So that guy does a really good job. I mean, I think he appears plucked right out of the Lord of the Rings movies. So I really like his scenes with his dad coming up and then with Elrond coming up. Elrond ultimately leaves empty-handed, and he leaves behind that piece of mithril that he was given on the table that Durin tricked the elves into giving him, young Durin. And there's like a dead leaf that just so happens to be there. I don't remember why a dead leaf would be underground in a dwarven cave. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. But as Elrond leaves, the leaf comes back to life, rejuvenates. And then young Durin's like, Elrond! All right, let's continue to go through this in a very efficient fashion. Guy Ladriel blames herself for the South turning into shadow, as well she should. Elendil is worried that his son, Isildur, is killed, but we've all read the books, so I don't even know why they're going there. I mean, why? Why have him missing? Our heroes are basically walking through the woods most of this episode with the color correction set to red. They just changed the tint of the film. That's about it. And I think Muriel is blind at some point, but I kind of missed how that happened. So I'm not sure. Female Frodo, we're back with the Harfoots, gives Gandalf an apple, and he leaves the Harfoots because he almost killed some Harfoots. Almost. Guy Ladriel tells Theo about her husband, who I think she said she believes Celeborn is dead. Very convenient, so the writers of this show can make Galadriel, Lady Galadriel the Barbarian, the one and only, the lone angry fighter, right? You couldn't have her husband around, so. The orcs get close to Theo and Galadriel, but they hide under a log, and then the orcs are above the log sniffing. Where have I seen that before? Brings to mind the ring wraiths, right? Sniffing with Frodo and the hobbits, and yeah, it rhymes, right? Isn't that what George Lucas says when he like repeats things? It rhymes. But the new writers, they're just out of ideas and they copy. So there's like a difference. Young Durin and Elrond. Elrond did not leave, so he came back because Durin called him, and they're gonna mine in secret for the Mithril on their own. And I do like this scene. Again, I think Elrond's better here with Durin, young Durin. Good job. So they break through the wall and they can look through a hole and they see this vast opening with the mithril veins coming down, and they're all happy, but Daddy Durin shows up and he's pretty pissed and he banishes Elrond from Khazad-dûm. The Durins argue, and I think this is a pretty powerful scene. Durin the third and Durin the fourth argue. Good dialogue here. It was good. I mean, Durin the third's a prick, but someone's running around back there. I don't know what's going on. Durin the third is a prick, but yeah, good scene. The Harfoots, we go back to them, unfortunately, and they pick apples from the tree that Gandalf was whispering to. So at first, we thought, he couldn't fix the tree. Ends up, now the tree is just full of fruit. And then the Slim Shadys show up. You know, dude looks like a ladies. They show up and they're like checking out the tree. They're on the heels of Gandalf. And female Frodo tries to tell them, right, that, oh, no, he didn't go that way. He went that way. But Eminem, he ain't liking that. So he basically like sets the Harfoot's village on fire, right? The dude had a torch and he sucked the power of the fire and then put the fire over the village. Who are these Slim Shady people? Completely made up, right? Completely made up. Well, like all of this. Harfoots are made up. Slim Shady's made up. Who's made up here? Everyone's made up. Hallbrand is made up. I don't know. But the camp burns, and then we find out that Beric the horse, Isildur's horse, misses him, and so he runs off to look for Isildur. Galadriel and Theo return to the camp, and we see that Bronwyn is there with her boyfriend, Don Lemonloss. So, unfortunately, they didn't die. All right, so Lady Galadriel seeks out Muriel, who's, like, sitting on a rock with, like, a headband tied around her eyes. She's trying to look like a badass. I don't know. So the Númenóreans are going to leave, but she says, Númenor will return. And Galadriel says, then the elves will be ready. So they're leaving, but they're going to come back to fight the orcs. And Elendil just cries. It was kind of weird. He's just crying. I guess he wants to stay and keep looking for Isildur, his son, I guess. But female Frodo leaves the Harfoots to help Gandalf. And basically her family, female Sam and everyone, her family will go with her to help Gandalf. Warn him that the Slim Shadys are after him. And then we see Hallbrand. No one told Galadriel that Hallbrand is in the camp and he's injured. It looks bad, but don't worry, because in the next scene he hops on a horse and they're going to go right off. So, and you got that injury right there in the ribs. Being on a horse, yeah, that's going to feel good. So, I don't know. Disa tells Durin the fourth, don't worry, husband. One day you're gonna be the king of this place anyway, and so all the mithril will be yours, and maybe then we can help the elves. And then the camera pans down. Was it a leaf again? I forget. We pan down for some reason through that hole they broke through, and yes, out of the darkness comes the Balrog, and I'm like, what's he doing down there? What's he's hanging out, sleeping? So, I don't know. Then we cut to Adar, the half-orc elf person. And all the orcs are like going, yeah, Adar, leader of the Southlands. And then I think he says something to the effect of the Southlands are no more. And then it's at least we get like this, the title changes from the Southlands to Mordor. Oh, okay, Amazon, you're so clever. So that's it. That's it. Basically, nothing really happened. So what's going to happen next week? I don't know. What's going to happen next week? Are they going to fight the Balrog? Really? Already? What's going to happen? I don't know. We're going to find out who Sauron is. We're going to find out, is Gandalf really Gandalf? Maybe he's Saruman. I don't know who the Slim Shadys are. Anyway, it was really, really boring. Sorry for getting this out late, but we had Werewolf by Night to cover, which is much better. I highly recommend Werewolf by Night, and I'm happy I watched it instead of Rings of Power. All right? Everybody, thank you for the support. If you can leave a comment, tell a friend about my stupid channel. Smash that like button. It would be greatly appreciated. All right, I think we have we have House of the Dragon tonight, so... All right, I'll watch that at some point and tell you what I think about House of the Dragon, which is a good show. We all agree on that. Everybody, have a great day, a great week. I will see you soon, and as always, I will see you on the new.